Good morning. The sky is overcast today, so it's bright and it's hard to keep me from squinting, but I'll do my best for the camera. But today I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to test the compression in the engine with a compression tester. And we'll also start taking apart looking at the fuel system to see if we can figure out what's keeping the engine from staying running. So let me grab some tools and we'll get to work. So before I test the compression, I got my compression tester here. I was thinking about this, is the spark plug gapped correctly? And so it should be a 30,000th of an inch, and so we're going to test that. So I have a feeler gauge, and this one is the 30,000th. See if you could see it on there. Yep. And so we will test this by just sliding this in between. Yeah, that's what I thought when I looked at it before. I noticed, I was like, that gap is so close. Look, it's pretty much, I mean, it's not touching, but it's really close. So I don't like adjusting the gap with the feeler gauge, just because I don't want to bend it up. And I don't have my spark plug gapper with me right now. Yep, there we go. So it should just fit really snugly between the two. Oh, you know what? Since I'm testing the compression, let me just leave this out. The amount of compression that a lawnmower needs to start is 35 to 40 psi, and to actually keep it running is 90 psi, pounds per square inch. So let me just put this down on the ground so we can crank it and see if we could see what the PSI reads. I mean, I'm thinking it probably has just fine PSI just because it cranked yesterday, but I'm just really doing this to show you how to work this little compression tester. This camera right for you. The needle should go to about here, but ideally it should go to here. So between these, let's see what it says. All right, so that read 60 psi, and that's without it being cranked. And so that looks pretty good. All right, so since I just tested the compression, let me put the lawnmower back up on the table, and we'll get to looking at the fuel stuff. And I just thought before I put it up on the table, let me put the spark plug back in since I adjusted the gap. I really don't think that that's going to make any difference, but let's try cranking it again since I adjusted the gap. Yeah, so that's not happening. Let me put it back up on the table. Right, so just to make it easier to see, I'm going to take off this cover here. And then we'll take off this little, this cover. Right here, it looks like, I don't know, those look like about a 7mm nut. No, more like an 8 or something. Yep, that's what it is, 8mm. Now we'll just set this aside. Now we can get a little better view of what's going on in here. Alright, so it looks like there is a lot of old, let me find my screwdriver so I can point better. Look at in here. Look at all that gum up stuff. So that is a sign that there could be a lot of that varnish in the carburetor. So we'll clean that up real good. But let me show you a few. See, this is the choke in here. So I'll see how it moves. This little butterfly valve. And you can see how the spring is so dirty. I mean, you know, a dirty spring don't do any harm, but still it all needs to be cleaned up really well. So we're going to take off this line here and we will test to see, make sure that this line is clean and clear and not clogged up at any point. So the first thing we're going to do is to remove this. First, I'm going to remove it on this side and see if fuel leaks out. And that way we'll know if this is clogged up. I'm pretty sure fuel's going to leak out. But also this cap, it doesn't look bad, but sometimes the cap can keep it from letting the fuel through. So let me go get something to catch any fuel that drops out of here before I take this off. So here's something interesting I want to show you is on this cover that it has the primer bulb in it, and look at how it's built. It's like all part of this, and when you press, see that gas, it comes up in this little channel here, and that's how it gets into the carburetor. See, this is on here like this, and it comes right up in here and feeds it into the carburetor. So interesting little system I wanted to point out to you. But what I'm gonna do now, I have some pencils to block when I unhook the hose. I'm gonna jam the pencil up in there to keep the gas from coming out. These have a wider, it'll be easier to remove that. See it better? Well, there we go. But I think I found the problem. This gas tubing is cracked. Look at that. Look at all that crack right on there. I'm gonna squeeze it, see if you could, let me bend it. You could see it better. Look at all of that. So I'm not sure. Yeah, look, there's even some holes in it. So I'm gonna get a new fuel line right there and put it in, and that'll be, and we'll see if it cranks then. All right, so I got a piece of 1/4 inch fuel line, and we will pull out the old, put in the new, and see what happens. I'm gonna plug it in here first, and then when we take this off, I can just plug it in, it'll go straight to there. So we'll plug it in this side first. And remember your clamps. And let me just see if I can get this one off before we even start. That way I'll have it all set and ready to go. We'll only have to remove the fuel line once. Yep. There we go. Now I'll have that ready to catch. Let me get some rag. There we go. New line on and set. You know, I bet it'll crank now. I mean, there is a lot of deposits in this carburetor, and we're gonna go ahead and clean them up. Should I try to crank it? I think I should. I mean, there's a lot of work lifting this thing down, but I want to see if that's what the problem was. So let's lift it down and see what's going on. Yeah, that old, there is just cracks all through that. I mean, that is bad shape. So let me put this stuff back on here real quick. No, it was worth a try. I was really hoping it was gonna crank, but let's put it back up on that table again. All right, so we'll take the air filter housing off again. So now we will go into a little more closer look at the carburetor. I had a little magnetic bowl that you can place all the little parts in just to keep them together, but unfortunately it has vanished, so I'm just gonna have to keep everything together on the table. So this has a spring that we'll remove, and the one thing is that I don't want to start taking this apart yet, just because I don't have a replacement gasket. They do sell a whole carburetor rebuild kits for these little carburetors, probably at Lowe's or maybe a small engine repair shop. They may sell them if there's one in your area, or you can order them offline. There's a couple of sites that I use that are good at getting me the parts I need for these small engines. The first thing we'll do is remove this spring. It's just that if I ordered it offline, it will take a few days to get here, and I'd rather not have to wait on something like that when I'm in the middle of showing y'all how to do it. But this is just a really thin, delicate spring. We'll just leave it hanging down on this side so we don't lose it. And then right here is just it's just a bent wire that we will unhook. It's hooked down here, back here, but we'll take this gas tank and everything off later. You know what, actually, so the real way to what I should be doing is I should take this off, take the gas tank off, and move that out of the way. That way we'll see this is a heat shield. I'll remove that as well, and we'll really get down into here to have a better view of everything. And I am moving to close to Memphis tomorrow, and so I'm not going to be able to have a video out for you because I'll be driving. I may make a video about me driving and put it on there. I don't know yet, but I might. But I don't want to get this thing torn down because I'm going to have to pack it up, put it in the back of the truck, and bring it with me. So I think that we'll call this a day for now. We replaced the fuel line, and we tested the compression, and we gapped the spark plug today. And tomorrow, well, as soon as I can, the next episode will come out, and that's when I will remove all these parts, and I will even try to order the carburetor rebuild kit, so I'll have it with me when we go to rebuild that, and we won't have to wait on it. I appreciate you watching today. Hope you learned something. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell your friends. Like the video. Hit the like button if you like the video. And most importantly, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.